Half cash is one of the toughest game modes in Bloons TD6. You need to get past round 80, but you also start out with half as much cash as normal, while also making money at half the rate, which means you're not able to afford many of the good towers that you're used to. In this video, I'll go over a few tips, tricks, and strategies for beating this mode without using insta-monkeys, continues, powers, or double cash. To do half cash, you'll first want to choose an effective hero. You want a hero that can handle the early game as you start building your defenses, while also having good abilities that can assist with the middle and late game. While some players don't like using abilities, they can make tough rounds like 40, 63, and 78 much easier, so I would highly recommend using them. The heroes that I generally recommend for most half cash maps are Sauda and Corvus. We'll also see an example using Quincy, as he will often be the only hero that new players will have unlocked. Two other great half cash heroes are Oben and Admiral Brickle, as they both have very effective strategies in maps where Corvus and Sauda are not as good. We'll also see an example with Benjamin, although I would generally not recommend using him. The other thing you'll need in half cash are some cheap, effective towers. Since this is half cash, you will generally not be able to afford any tier 5 towers, so we'll need to buff and synergize some tier 4 towers to get the job done. Towers in the game tend to fall in at least one of 4 categories: Moab damage, global/general damage, high pierce, and buff and support towers. In half cash, we will generally not be able to afford towers that do more than 2 of those things, so we'll want to mix different towers of each type to cover all of our bases. Some good towers for Moab damage that we will see in this video are the Moab Mauler and Moab Assassin, as well as the Fighter Plane and Operation Dartstorm. The main towers I'd recommend for global general damage are the Never Miss Monkey Ace and the Advanced Intel Submarine. We will also see examples with the Razor Rotors Helicopter and the Full Auto Sniper. With buffs, these towers can deal pretty solid Moab damage as well. For high pierce, I'd recommend the Recursive Cluster, which also does decent damage to Moabs, at the expense of not being able to pop black balloons. Another great high pierce tower we will see is Morglaives, which will pop black balloons but will struggle to Moabs. Usually, it's a good idea to combine both of these towers to cover their weaknesses. Another cheap, high pierce tower that's good for round 63 is the Blade Maelstrom, as its ability can clear out entire ceramic rushes. We'll also see an example of Bloon Liquefier being used, although that is quite a bit more expensive and only recommended for certain situations. Finally, to buff and support our towers, we will use Berserker Brew, which will heavily strengthen our monkeys. We will also use Monkey Villages with Jungle Drums and Radar Scanner, which respectively gives all towers in range both increased attack speed and camo detection. We can also substantially buff any primary monkeys we place with primary training and primary mentoring, and we will see a few examples of where we do just that. Let's now take a look at our first example strategy. This strategy assumes that you have no monkey knowledge and only have the default heroes. If you're just starting out, this is likely where you are. This strategy uses Quincy, as every new player will have him, and I'll demonstrate this strategy on Monkey Meadows, the first map in the game. We'll start by placing a dart monkey here on round 3. We will leak a bunch of balloons in the next couple rounds, but don't worry, as long as we don't die, it's fine to leak lives. Place a second dart monkey here on round 5. Our goal is now to save up for Quincy. We will continue leaking balloons during the save up, but again, if we don't die, there's still no need to worry. Right before round 10, we'll sell our first dart monkey and buy Quincy. We can now start building up to a recursive cluster, which, as we mentioned, provides good cleanup as well as decent Moab damage, at the expense of not being able to pop black balloons. However, Quincy can pop black balloons, so they should pair decently well with each other in the early game. We'll get down our bomb shooter for round 13, upgrading it to extra range before round 15. Round 15 is a bit overwhelming, so we'll use Quincy's rapid shot ability when the pink balloons arrive to avoid leaking. We'll then upgrade our bomb shooter to frag bombs at some point during round 17, and then to bigger bombs on round 20. Round 21 will leak, but we'll try to avoid using Quincy's rapid shot ability, as we'll want to use it instead for round 22. We can then upgrade the bomb shooter to cluster bombs as soon as possible during round 25. Round 26 will also be a bit overwhelming, so we'll again use Quincy's rapid shot ability to avoid leaking. On round 29, we can upgrade our bomb shooter to heavy bombs. This holds until we can afford recursive cluster during round 37, so we'll grab that as soon as possible. The round 40 Moab is a bit of a test, but we can use Quincy's rapid shot ability to take it down without any problems. We can now start building our support towers. On round 41, we'll first place down an alchemist above the recursive cluster and a village next to it, making sure it covers Quincy. We'll also set the alchemist's targeting to strong. On round 42, a recursive cluster cannot pop camos yet, so we'll use Quincy's rapid shot ability as soon as the camo rainbow balloons appear. We'll be able to give our recursive cluster camo detection on round 44 by upgrading our village to grow blocker and radar scanner. On round 45, we can upgrade our alchemist to larger potions and acidic mixture dip. We'll then upgrade it to Berserker Brew on round 47, and then cross-path it with stronger acid and perishing potions on round 48. Then, we can further strengthen our recursive cluster by upgrading our village to bigger radius and jungle drums on round 50. On round 51, we can start building into a monkey ace, which provides global range and pretty decent damage. We'll place it in range of the village and close to the alchemist, upgrading it to sharper darts and centered path. We'll then upgrade it to never miss targeting on round 53, and then to rapid fire and lots more darts on round 55. Next, we'll upgrade the alchemist to stronger stimulant on round 58, which will allow it to buff both our recursive cluster and our monkey ace. Let's now start solidifying our cleanup on round 59 by getting down a boomerang in range of our village, upgrading it to improved rangs and glaives. We'll upgrade it to glaive ricochet, long range rangs, and red hot rangs on round 60, and then to more glaives on round 64. We can further buff our bomb shooter and boomerang with some village upgrades, so let's upgrade it to primary training on round 66, and then to primary mentoring on round 70. The 70s will have a lot of Moabs, so we'll want to get a bit more Moab damage. Let's get down a second bomb shooter in village range on round 71, setting it to strong, and upgrading it to faster reload, bigger bombs, missile launcher, and Moab mauler. We'll then upgrade it again to Moab Assassin on round 75. This will give you a nice ability that insta-kills Moabs and breaks down BFBs, so be sure to use it as much as possible. The final tower we will place down is a second boomerang on round 76, which we will upgrade to faster throwing, faster rangs, and long-range rangs. We will again upgrade it to Bionic Boomerang on round 77, and then Red Hot rangs on round 78. For round 78, to be safe, we'll use Quincy's Aerostorm ability to take down the first Ceramic Rush, and then Rapid Shot to help take out the second Ceramic Rush. Finally, for round 80, we can upgrade the Boomerang to Turbocharge. This ability, plus the Moab Assassin and Quincy's abilities, will help you easily take down the final ZOMG. With just this strategy, you should be able to make great progress on most of the beginner maps. As you progress with the medals in the game, you'll earn monkey money and obtain monkey knowledge points. With your monkey money, I would highly recommend buying Sauda as soon as you're able to. Sauda is arguably the best half-cash hero on single-lane maps, and as such, you'll be able to clear all beginner maps and a very large chunk of intermediate and advanced maps with her. And, as we'll see soon, we can actually use the exact same half-cash strategy with her as we did with Quincy, but with a much easier early game. You'll also need to make some choices with how to spend your monkey knowledge points. More monkey knowledge is better, but if you're somewhat new to the game, you probably don't have that many points and need to spend them wisely. For half cash, there are a few critical pieces of monkey knowledge that I would highly recommend building up to at the start. The first is Empowered Heroes, which is in the Heroes path, which allows your hero to start each game at level 3. This will let you use the level 3 ability almost immediately, which is very helpful, as well as giving your hero more damage. On your way to it, you'll obtain Hero Favors, which reduces the hero base cost by 10%, extremely useful for half cash. The second is the More Cash knowledge in the primary path, which gives you an extra $100 in half cash. While building to it, you will also get a free Dart Monkey, as well as a 5% upgrade cost discount if all primary monkeys are Tier 3 or Tier 4. With some good upgrade planning, we can make use of this to save a decent amount of money. The third is the Military Conscription knowledge in the military path, which discounts the first military monkey by a third. This will give us a huge discount on expensive military towers like the Helicopter, Monkey Ace, or Mortar. The fourth is the Advanced Logistics knowledge, also in the military path, which reduces the military monkey cost by 5%. The fifth is Pre-Game Prep in the Powers path, which adds road spikes to the end of the track for every level. This is very helpful in avoiding early game leaks. The sixth is Mana Shield in the Magic path, which gives you a shield that absorbs up to 25 lives and recharges every round where balloons don't leak. This is also very helpful in the early game, giving you additional flexibility in how much you're allowed to leak. The seventh is Better Sell deals in the Support path. This allows for monkeys to sell for 5% more. This will be helpful for affording our hero earlier when we sell our initial towers. The eighth is Cheap Rangs in the primary path, which discounts our boomerangs by $50. Since we use boomerangs so much in our strategies, this is very much worth getting. Similarly, the ninth knowledge to get is Budget Clusters, which reduces the price of cluster bombs by $100. Since we use recursive clusters so much in half cash, this is also worth getting. The 10th knowledge to get is Big Balloon Sabotage, which reduces the base health of Moabs. There are a lot of Moabs in half cash, so this will be very helpful. Finally, the 11th knowledge to get is Force vs. Force in the primary path, which gives Juggernauts +2 damage to Moabs. The main reason for including this is that we will use Juggernauts in one of the strategies covered in this video, and you'll probably struggle a lot more on that strategy without this monkey knowledge. After this, you can spend the rest of your monkey knowledge points as you wish. In general, I'd recommend spending your points on knowledge that buff up your favorite half-cash towers. For example, since our strategies often use boomerangs, getting Bionic Augmentation and Recurring Rangs will be good. Additionally, if you are using towers that aren't really used in this video, like ninjas or spike factories, you can prioritize obtaining their corresponding discounts. This next example will look very familiar, as it's nearly identical to the first strategy, but also quite a bit easier in the early game, as we will be using Sauda instead of Quincy. We will also have full monkey knowledge in this example, which makes things a lot easier, and it also creates some subtle changes to the upgrade order. We'll be doing this strategy on Sunken Columns, which is an advanced map, albeit one of the easier ones. We start by placing 2 dart monkeys, the free one at the bottom and the non-free one at the top. Round 4 will probably leak into our pre-game prep, but don't worry too much about that. Next, we'll want to sell our non-free dart monkey as soon as we can, so we can replace it with Sauda, tucking her in as bottom as possible. With the right monkey knowledge, we'll be able to do this before round 6. Next, we'll place a bomb shooter on round 11, tucking it in as close to Sauda as possible. We'll then upgrade it to extra range on round 12, frag bombs on round 15, and then cluster bombs on round 20. On round 22, we'll want to sell our free dart monkey, as having all existing primary monkeys at tier 3 will make the subsequent bomb upgrades cheaper. After doing this, we can cross-path our bomb shooter with bigger bombs on round 22, and heavy bombs on round 27. This should hold for the next few rounds, but we may need to use our leaping sword ability if things get past Sauda. On round 36, we'll be able to upgrade our bomb shooter to recursive cluster. On round 37, some camos might leak past Sauda, but we should be able to catch them with her leaping sword. On round 40, we have a bit of Tetrising to do. First, we'll buy a monkey ace as high and as right as it can go. Then, we'll place an alchemist right below it. If we've placed things properly, we will barely be able to fit it. We'll set the alchemist to strong and upgrade it to larger potions and acidic mixture dip. The recursive cluster should break open the round 40 Moab, but we still may sometimes need to use Sauda's leaping sword ability to catch the insides. On round 42, we'll upgrade our alchemist to Berserker Brew. On round 44, we can place a village as high as it can go next to the monkey ace, upgrading it to Grow Blocker and Radar Scanner on round 47. On round 48, we'll cross-path our alchemist with Stronger Acid and Perishing Potions. Then, on round 50, we'll upgrade our village to Bigger Radius and Jungle Drums. On round 52, we'll upgrade the ace to Sharper Darts, Centered Path, and Never Miss Targeting, and then we'll cross-path it with Rapid Fire on round 53, and lots more darts on round 54. We'll then save up until we can upgrade our alchemist to Stronger Stimulant on round 57. Next, on round 58, we'll get a boomerang within village range next to Sauda, upgrading it to Improved Rangs and Glaives. Again, we want to avoid cross-pathing the boomerang until after we get Glaive Ricochet on round 59, as it makes the cross-path cheaper. We can then buy long-range rangs and red-hot rangs right after. Next, we'll upgrade our boomerang to more glaives as soon as we can during round 63, as this will make it much easier to deal with the ceramic rushes. Then, we'll upgrade our village to primary training on round 64, and then to primary mentoring on round 67. On round 68, we'll place down a second bomb shooter within village range, setting it to strong, and upgrading it to faster reload and bigger bombs. We can then upgrade it to missile launcher on round 69, Moab Mauler on round 71, and Moab Assassin during round 74. We will use the Moab Assassin ability to delete Moabs and break down BFBs whenever possible. On round 75, we'll put down a second boomerang within village range, and upgrade it to faster throwing and faster rangs. We'll then upgrade it to Bionic Boomerang before round 76, and then cross-path it with long-range rangs and red-hot rangs on round 77. In many maps, round 78 will often be fine, but to keep things consistent, we can use Sauda's sword charges on both ceramic rushes. Finally, we'll upgrade the second boomerang to turbocharge on round 79, and then use all of our abilities to easily clear round 80. This strategy overall works very well not only on single lane maps, but also on maps like Sunken Columns where multiple lanes converge at some point. Other examples of the latter are Polyphemus, Quiet Street, and Haunted. These two map types turn out to include quite a lot of maps, so you should be able to get the majority of your half-cash medals with just this strategy. While Sauda is a fantastic half-cash hero, she is much less effective on maps where she is not able to be in range of the balloons. One example is Firing Range, which is a fairly straightforward intermediate map, but also one where Sauda is much less effective in the early game, as she cannot be placed on the benches and thus cannot directly attack where the main action is. As an alternative, we could use a hero with more range, like Quincy or Oben, or we could use a hero that can be placed further up the track in range of the balloons, like Admiral Brickle. The hero we will explore in this part, however, is Corvus. Corvus is a fantastic half-cash hero, as he has a very strong early game that does not require you to spend any money. A lot of people don't like using Corvus because he requires a lot of micromanagement in order to be used optimally. Specifically, in game modes like Chimps, you want to constantly harvest balloons and nourish Corvus in order to get him to level 20 as soon as possible, where he can excel in the late game. However, for half cash, you don't need to use him optimally to use him effectively. It is unlikely that you'll get him to level 20, and as such, you can often get away without nourishing him at all. And, due to the global range of his spirit, he can be extremely effective in the early game on maps where Sauda is not as good, allowing you to save up for more expensive towers. Firing Range in particular is a map where he excels at. We will be using a couple of harvests and spells, but not too many, and as such, this is a good way for you to start getting used to Corvus. We'll start by placing our free Dart Monkey on the right bench, and a second Dart Monkey on the left bench. On round 10, sell the second Dart Monkey and purchase Corvus next to the fence as soon as you can afford it. Corvus and the Dart Monkey will easily solo the early game until round 24, where we have the first Camo Balloon. We can just let it leak into our pregame prep without using spells, or we can use Corvus's Vision spell. Or, if there are no road spikes at the end of the track, a solution that uses less mana is the Soul Barrier spell. Round 25 has purples, which Corvus cannot pop without spells. However, with over $1,900 saved up, we can afford a helicopter and lock it over the track. With the right monkey knowledge, the helicopter should cost under $1,100. This works until the leads on round 28. Activate Corvus's Spear spell to handle them, remembering to dismiss it on round 29. Round 30 also has leads. If our mana is lacking, we can harvest the first lead that gets into Corvus's range and then activate Spear again, dismissing it on round 31. This is the last spell we'll need to do in this run. This holds until the camos on round 33, where we can upgrade our helicopter to bigger jets and IFR to pop them. This holds until the leads on round 37, so we'll upgrade our helicopter to quad darts, pursuit, and razor rotors as soon as possible. Round 40 is often a challenge, but for this map the track is long enough that the helicopter and Corvus can take it down without any additional effort. In fact, this holds until round 49, where we have almost $9,000 saved up. We'll buy a monkey ace underneath the helicopter, upgrading it to sharper darts, centered path, never miss targeting, rapid fire, and lots more darts. This holds up remarkably well without us having to do anything until round 63, where our towers will need a little bit more help. We'll get down a village within range of Corvus, the helicopter, and the monkey ace, upgrading it to bigger radius and jungle drums. Then, we'll get an alchemist next to our monkey ace, upgrading it to larger potions, acidic mixture dip, berserker brew, stronger stimulant, stronger acid, and perishing potions. This will handle everything up until round 76, where we have a neat trick up our sleeves. If we sell our helicopter and alchemist, we can then upgrade the monkey ace to Spectre. This will clear round 76 without any issues. Finally, on round 77, we'll upgrade the village to Grow Blocker and Radar Scanner so that we can pop any camos that come our way. This is enough to finish the rest of the game, but if we want to be super safe, we can sell Corvus and the Spectre before round 80 and purchase the submarine, upgrading it to barbed darts, heat tip darts, ballistic missile, and first strike capability. We can then use the first strike ability as soon as it's off cooldown to take out the ZOMG. As you can see, we're able to use Corvus very effectively on a map where Sauda isn't super good. In general, Corvus is good on the same single-lane maps where Sauda is also good, as well as single-lane maps where Sauda struggles due to her range issues. As you start using Corvus more, you can gradually start incorporating some more of his spells. As the maps get harder, the spells become more and more necessary. One difficult half-cash map is Geared. Because of the rotating platform, Sauda is not a super effective hero for it, as she will not be attacking the main track almost 40% of the time. However, with Corvus, we can use a very similar strategy as we did with Firing Range, but with a few modifications and quite a few more Corvus spells. To keep things simple, we will also avoid doing any nourishes, although you should definitely add those in when you're comfortable doing so. We first need to survive until we can afford Corvus, which we will do by placing our free Dart Monkey here and another Dart Monkey here. We will place another Dart Monkey at the front of the track on rounds 5, 6, as well as in the middle of round 8. This will hold for the next few rounds, albeit uncomfortably with some leaks into our mana shield. On round 12, we can finally sell our 4 non-free dart monkeys and buy Corvus at the front of the track. On round 15, we'll want to activate Corvus' spear spell when the balloons get near Corvus to avoid any leaks, remembering to dismiss it on round 16. This should hold until round 20, where we can put down a helicopter at the bottom of the map, locking it over the track. On round 24, we'll use the Soul Barrier spell to tank the camo. We're going to struggle with popping all of the round 25 purples without Corvus' trample spell, so let's do that to take them out. On round 27, we'll upgrade the helicopter to quad darts. On round 28, we will want to get some mana by using Corvus' Soul Harvest ability on the first 3 leads, and then we can use Spear for the remaining leads, remembering to dismiss it on round 29. On round 30, we can use Ember to take out the leads. For the round 33 camos, we'll upgrade the helicopter to bigger jets and IFR. Then, we can upgrade it to Pursuit for round 34. This holds until round 37, where we will move Corvus to the front of the map. When the leads come out, we'll harvest the first few and then activate Ember to pop the rest of them. We can then upgrade the helicopter to Razor Rotors on round 38. To get a bit more mana, we'll also move Corvus to the front during the round and harvest the first ceramic when it gets within his range. Our helicopter will need some help for the round 40 Moab, so we'll move Corvus to the front of the map and activate his Ancestral Might spell to break it down. On round 42, we can purchase a village above the helicopter and move Corvus to be within village range. During round 43, we'll need to use Corvus' trample spell again to clear out the ceramics. We can upgrade the village to Grow Blocker and Radar Scanner on round 44. On round 46, we'll move Corvus to the front while still being in village range, so we can harvest one of the ceramics for a bit of mana. On round 47, we'll use yet another trample to deal with the ceramics. On round 48, we'll get down a Monkey Ace in village range, upgrading it to sharper darts and centered path, and then to never miss targeting before round 49. During round 49, we'll again use trample on the ceramics. On round 50, we'll upgrade the Monkey Ace to rapid fire and lots more darts, which should handle the round without any spells. On round 51, we can get down an Alchemist next to the Monkey Ace, upgrading it to larger potions and acidic mixture dip, and then to Berserker Brew as soon as possible during the round. We'll then cross-path it with stronger acid and perishing potions on round 53. On round 56, we'll upgrade the village to bigger radius and jungle drums. On round 59, we will start preparing for the ceramic rushes that will come up in the future. We will first sell the free Dart Monkey and get down a tack shooter in village range at the edge of the gear, upgrading it to long range tacks, super range tacks, blade shooter, and blade maelstrom as soon as possible during the round. This is a good half cash tower as it is fairly cheap and its ability has high pierce with a very fast cooldown. On round 60, we will move Corvus to the front and use his Ancestral Might spell to break down the BFB. We'll then move Corvus back into village range as soon as possible on round 61 so he can be buffed by the jungle drums. Round 62 will be fine, but things will start to get tricky on round 63, requiring quite a bit of micro to get through the 3 ceramic rushes. For the first one, we'll use the Blade Maelstrom ability. For the second, we'll activate Corvus' trample spell. And for the third one, we'll use the Blade Maelstrom ability again. Round 64 also requires a bit of micro. We'll activate Corvus' Storm and Echo spells when the fortified Moabs show up. Then, we'll use the Blade Maelstrom ability off cooldown to fully break everything down. On round 65, we'll dismiss the Storm spell, and then we'll use the Blade Maelstrom ability when the remnants of the BFBs reach it. We'll use the Blade Maelstrom ability again on round 66 for safety when the fortified Moabs are near. On round 68, we'll activate Corvus' Storm and Echo spells when the BFB appears. We can relax for 2 rounds, but we will then need to do some more micro for the following 4 rounds. For round 71, we'll use the Blade Maelstrom ability to break down the cluster of Moabs. For round 72, we'll use a trample after the first BFB fully breaks down into balloons, and then use the Blade Maelstrom ability when the insides of the second BFB get close. For round 73, we'll activate Corvus' Storm spell when the first set of Moabs pops. Round 74 will generally hold, but we can use the Maelstrom ability on the BFB remnants to be safe. On round 75, we have now saved up enough to sell our helicopter, village, alchemist, and blade maelstrom, and purchase a spectre. To maximize the spectre's pierce, we will center the path on the top right corner of the map. We will also purchase a village covering the spectre and Corvus. On round 77, we can upgrade the village to Grow Blocker and Radar Scanner so we can pop the camos on round 78. Finally, we'll upgrade the village to Bigger Radius and Jungle Drums for round 79. This should clear the rest of the level. As you can see, Corvus is very powerful if you're willing to use his spells, allowing you to eventually save up for a Spectre to carry you through the late 70s. You can also employ a similar Corvus strategy in other advanced maps like Peninsula or even Erosion. I highly recommend trying him out, as he can make a lot of hard half-cash maps much more manageable. Benjamin is a very popular hero due to his money-making abilities. He is also commonly used in half-cash, although I find him to be quite tough to use on most maps. In our previous strategies, we used our hero to carry rounds 10 to 20 while we saved money for more powerful towers in the 20s, like the cluster bomb or the helicopter. With Benjamin, however, we actually need to do the opposite. Because Benjamin doesn't actually pop balloons, we need to first build an early game setup that lets us survive not only to his save up, but also for several rounds after purchasing him. And due to his high price tag, we will often end up having to purchase him fairly late. In my opinion, most half-cash maps where Benjamin can be used can be done more easily with Sauda or Corvus. There is one exception though, which is the advanced map Spillway. In this map, Sauda can only cover one of the 4 lanes, and she is also ineffective in the middle due to her limited range. Corvus does work on this map, but he is also a little bit less effective here than normal, as his trample only covers half of the map, which means we'll need to spend extra mana on Echo so that it can cover all the lanes. Benjamin, on the other hand, works very well here, as we're able to use a free Dart Monkey to set up a very cheap defense that gets us to round 20. We'll start out by placing the free Dart Monkey in the middle, upgrading it to long-range darts, quick shots, and very quick shots. On round 9, we'll then upgrade the Dart Monkey to triple shot. This cheap $800 tower is surprisingly effective on this map, not leaking too many balloons and making our save up to Benjamin relatively painless. We'll be able to afford Benjamin during round 18. We want to place him during the round as opposed to after, as it will net you an extra $70, which is very valuable in the early game. This lone Dart Monkey will continue to hold until we buy our next tower, albeit with some leaking. Fortunately, Benjamin will soon give us lives after every round, so we don't have to worry about any minor leaks. Mortars are great in this map, so we'll buy one on round 21, setting the targeting to inside the loop and upgrading it to faster reload as soon as we can during round 22. Next, we'll upgrade the Dart Monkey to Enhanced Eyesight to pop the camo on round 24. We'll upgrade the mortar again to Rapid Reload on round 26, and then to Heavy Shells on round 30, so we can more easily deal with the numerous black and zebra balloons in the early game. We'll cross-path it with Bigger Blasts on round 32, and Balloon Buster on round 33. We can now start planning for the round 40 Moab. We'll get down a Monkey Ace on round 35, upgrading it to Rapid Fire on round 36, lots more darts on round 38, and Fighter Play on round 39. This should clear round 40 without any issues. We need a camo solution for round 42, so we'll buy ourselves a second mortar, upgrading it to increased accuracy, Bernie stuff, and signal flare, and setting its targeting to inside the loop. We can then cross-path it with faster reload on round 43 and rapid reload on round 44. This defense will allow us to purchase Operation Dartstorm, Sharper Darts, and Centered Path for our Monkey Ace on round 49. Next, we'll place down a village on round 51 covering all of the towers and upgrading it to bigger radius and jungle drums. This will hold for a good while, but will struggle to ceramic rushes. Fortunately, Benjamin will be making us so much money in the meantime that we can afford some good solutions. On round 58, we'll sell the Dart Monkey and replace it with a Glue Gunner, upgrading it to Glue Soak, Corrosive Glue, Balloon Dissolver, and Balloon Liquefier, before cross-pathing it with bigger globs and Glue Splatter. As we mentioned earlier, getting the Tier 3 upgrade will provide a pretty nice discount on the cross-path. Next, we'll get a second Monkey Ace on round 63 within village range, upgrading it to Sharper Darts, Centered Path, and Never Miss Targeting. This will easily clear round 63. On round 64, we'll cross-path the Monkey Ace with Rapid Fire and lots more darts. On round 65, we'll put an Alchemist next to our Monkey Aces. We'll upgrade it to larger potions and acidic mixture dip, Berserker Brew, Stronger Acid, and Perishing Potions on round 66, and then to Stronger Stimulant on round 69. For a bit of safety against the camos later on, we'll buy Grow Blocker and Radar Scanner for the village on round 71. Finally, we'll buy a Submarine on round 79, upgrading it to Barbed Darts, Heat-Tipped Darts, Ballistic Missile, and First Strike capability during the round. We can then use the First Strike ability on the round 80 ZOMG. In general, Benjamin makes the late game very easy at the expense of a difficult early game. As such, you'll only really want to use him on maps where you can get down a cheap, effective early game that can get you to round 20 without too much trouble. Other examples of where this might make sense are Balance and Encrypted, where a Spike-O-Pult in the middle can get you to round 20. However, for those maps, I'd recommend instead making your life easier and just throwing Sauda in the middle, since she has enough range to dominate on those two maps. So far, we have only looked at single-lane maps, or multi-lane maps where the paths converge. However, there are some multi-lane maps, like Castle Revenge, where the paths do not converge. The general principle for these kinds of maps is to pick a hero that can cover as many of the lanes as effectively as possible. Corvus does not fit the bill, as his spirit will not be able to split between the lanes effectively. Sauda, while usable here, is not able to cover both lanes very effectively either, due to an annoying pipe in the middle that blocks her range. One solid alternative is Oben, who is relatively cheap, levels up quickly, pops leads, and has some powerful abilities that help a lot with half-cash modes. Let's see how we can use him on Castle Revenge. We'll start by placing our free Dart Monkey here, and a second Dart Monkey here. This should cover both tracks until we can place Oben down on round 8. Oben's level 3 ability places a Bramble on the track, which we'll want to do as much as possible in the early game, so we'll be spamming these off cooldown. Next, we'll put down a Sniper on round 11. This will help catch anything that leaks past our current defenses for the time being. Let's now bolster our current defense by upgrading our first Dart Monkey to Sharp Shots on round 12, Razor Sharp Shots on round 14, and Spike-O-Pult as soon as you can during round 16. The Spike-O-Pults are very effective on this map, as the spikes can bounce off walls and utilize more of their pierce. We'll keep things symmetrical by doing the same thing with the other Dart Monkey, upgrading it to Sharp Shots on round 18, Razor Sharp Shots on round 19, and Spike-O-Pult on round 22. On round 24, we'll want to upgrade the first Dart Monkey to Long Range Darts and Enhanced Eyesight, which should help pop the camo if there is no bramble on the track. We'll improve our early game leak catching by upgrading the Sniper to Fast Firing on round 27 and then even faster firing on round 30. On round 31, we'll give the second Dart Monkey camo detection as well by upgrading it to Long Range Darts and Enhanced Eyesight. On round 37, we'll bolster our defenses substantially by upgrading our top Dart Monkey to Juggernaut. Then, we'll upgrade our Sniper to Full Metal Jacket on round 38. We'll want to avoid using a Bramble on round 39 as we will need it for the next round. Right before round 40, we will place an Alchemist next to Oben, upgrading it to Larger Potions and Acidic Mixture Dip and setting it to Strong. Slow the game down and place a Bramble as soon as Oben starts attacking. This combination of towers and abilities should easily deal with the Moab. After this point, we'll continue to spam Brambles off cooldown. On round 42, we'll upgrade the Alchemist to Berserker Brew, Stronger Acid, and then Perishing Potions during the round. Next, we'll upgrade the bottom Dart Monkey to Juggernaut as soon as possible during round 45, which will help take out the ceramics on the next few rounds. Oben's Wall of Trees ability should be off cooldown by round 48, which not only helps with taking down Moabs, but it also gives you extra money. We'll target Oben's trees to the middle of the track, and then we'll use the Wall of Trees ability to set them down as soon as possible. On round 49, we'll increase our global damage by upgrading the Sniper to semi-automatic as soon as possible. To be safe, we'll refresh the trees at the start of round 50, which will tank both Moabs. Next, we'll place down a village for round 51, putting it in range of Oben and the Sniper, and upgrading it to Grow Blocker and Radar Scanner. We'll refresh our trees on round 53 to tank the 3 Moabs. On round 54, we'll further buff our towers by upgrading our village to Bigger Radius and Jungle Drums. Then, we'll refresh the trees again on round 56. On round 58, we'll give ourselves even more global damage by upgrading the Sniper to Full Auto Rifle, and then further upgrading it to Large Calibre before round 59. During round 59, we'll move the tree targeting to the top of the track and refresh them. This will allow them to tank the BFB insides on round 60. On round 61, we can move Oben's tree targeting back to the middle. We'll also prepare for future ceramic rushes by placing down a boomerang in village range, upgrading it to improved rangs, glaives, and glaive ricochet, before then cross-pathing it with long-range rangs and red-hot rangs. As mentioned before, going for the tier 3 upgrade first will make the crosspath cheaper. On round 62, we'll use the Wall of Trees ability when the fortified Moabs show up, allowing us to easily handle them. Right before round 63, we can upgrade the boomerang to more glaives, which will allow us to get past the 3 infamous ceramic rushes. Round 65 has some BFBs that will require some additional support to take down. We'll move Oben's tree targeting to the bottom of the track, and then we'll place down a bomb shooter in village range, setting it to Strong, and upgrading it to Faster Reload, Missile Launcher, and Moab Mauler. We'll use the Wall of Trees ability as soon as we start the round, and we'll also try to save Oben's Bramble for the BFB on the top track if possible. We'll use the Bramble ability again on round 68, placing it right when Oben starts attacking the BFB. We'll refresh the trees on round 69, and then we'll upgrade the bomb shooter to Moab Assassin before round 70. On round 71, we'll get down a second bomb shooter in village range, upgrading it to extra range, frag bombs, and cluster bombs, and then cross-pathing it with bigger bombs and heavy bombs as soon as you're able to. Throughout the 70s, we will use the Moab Assassin ability on any BFB or fortified Moab that goes in the top row. On round 75, we'll upgrade the Bomb Shooter again to Recursive Cluster. We'll also move the tree targeting back to the middle, refreshing the trees when we start the round. We'll then upgrade the village to Primary Training for round 76 to give our primary monkeys a little bit more pierce and range. For round 77, we will once again retarget the trees to the bottom track and refresh the trees as soon as it's off cooldown. We'll also use the Moab Assassin and Bramble abilities on the BFBs during the round. The last tower we will place is the second Boomerang on round 78. We'll upgrade it to Faster Throwing, Faster Rangs, and Bionic Boomerang, before cross-pathing it with Long Range Rangs and Red Hot Rangs. We'll refresh the trees during round 79, and then we'll upgrade the final Boomerang to Turbocharge as soon as possible. We'll use the Turbocharge ability on the first fortified BFB, and then the Moab Assassin ability on the second one. Finally, we can do our simple round 80 solution, where we sell all our towers, purchase a First Strike submarine, and then use the First Strike ability to take out the final ZOMG. This strategy should look somewhat similar to our Sauda and Quincy strategies, which is intentional, as these towers are fantastic for half cash in general, and for multi-lane maps specifically, they have the benefit of having fairly large range, allowing them to see both lanes and make use of their pierce. One very powerful half-cash tower that we haven't yet explored in the early game is the Sub. It is cheap and can have global range capabilities with its advanced intel upgrade. Subs also pair very well with Admiral Brickle, who is a very powerful water-based hero. Let's take a look at a strategy involving submarines and Admiral Brickle on Spring Spring, which is an intermediate map where Corvus is not super effective for similar reasons as Castle Revenge. Sauda can work here, but Brickle plus subs works a lot better in my opinion. We'll start by placing our free Dart Monkey in the front and a submarine in the back. This holds very well for the next few rounds, allowing us to place Brickle down during round 10. We'll then upgrade the submarine to longer range on round 12, advanced intel on round 16, and twin guns on round 20. We can let the round 24 camo hit our pregame prep to save some money. On round 26, we'll place down a sniper, setting it to strong and upgrading it to full metal jacket. This will allow us to pop all of the lead balloons in the early game. Next, we'll get airburst darts for our sub on round 31. To pop the camos on round 33 and beyond, we'll upgrade our Dart Monkey to long range darts and enhanced eyesight. On round 36, we'll upgrade the sub to triple guns. Then, before round 40, place an alchemist within range of the sub, upgrading it to larger potions, acidic mixture dip, and berserker brew. This should take care of the Moab without any problems, but you can use Brickle's naval tactics ability to make it even easier. On round 42, we'll cross-path the alchemist with faster throwing. We'll next give our submarine more intel by placing a ninja on each of the left two islands on round 44. We use ninjas as they are the cheapest way to give our subs camo detection. On round 45, we can place down another sub, upgrading it to longer range, advanced intel, and twin guns. We'll give this second sub its own alchemist on round 49, upgrading it to larger potions, acidic mixture dip, berserker brew, and faster throwing. On round 50, we'll upgrade the second sub to airburst darts and triple guns. We can then wait until round 56, where we can upgrade both of our subs to armor-piercing darts. Using Brickle's naval tactics ability on round 60 will easily take out the BFB. Next, we'll prepare for the upcoming ceramic rushes using a very familiar strategy. We'll get down a tack shooter on round 61, upgrading it to long range tacks, super range tacks, blade shooter, and blade maelstrom. For round 63, we'll use the Blade Maelstrom ability on the first Ceramic Rush, Naval Tactics on the second Ceramic Rush, and another Blade Maelstrom ability on the third Ceramic Rush. On round 68, we can place down a third sub within Brickle's range, upgrading it to longer range, advanced intel, twin guns, airburst darts, triple guns, and armor-piercing darts. Then, on round 73, we'll place an alchemist next to the third sub, upgrading it to larger potions, acidic mixture dip, berserker brew, and faster throwing. We can use naval tactics on round 76 to clear out the regrow ceramics. Likewise, on round 78, we can use Brickle's naval tactics ability on both ceramic rushes. During round 79, we'll add a fourth sub, again upgrading it to armor-piercing darts and giving it its own berserker brew with faster throwing. On round 80, we could sell everything for a first strike, but more fun is to place a Megamind at the start and then use naval tactics to absolutely shred the ZOMG. This general sub plus Brickle strategy is flexible enough to work on almost any map that has water, and I definitely recommend doing so if you can. The final example we will look at is #ouch, which is a very difficult expert map. However, we will see that we can employ a very similar water-based strategy to beat it, albeit with quite a bit of additional difficulty and ability usage. We'll start by placing our free monkey on the corner here, and our submarine on the right side of the water here. We'll let this hold until round 10, where we'll place Brickle during the round as middle as possible. We'll upgrade the sub to twin guns as soon as possible during round 14, and then to longer range as soon as we can on round 15. On round 18, we'll use naval tactics on the green rush at the end. On round 19, we'll place another sub on the left side of the water, giving it longer range on round 20. On round 22, we'll use naval tactics in the middle of the round, and then upgrade the second sub to twin guns during round 23. We'll let our pregame prep tank the camo balloon on round 24. On round 26, we'll place a sniper up here, setting it to strong. The location is important as we will be using it for intel later. On round 27, we'll need to use naval tactics when the yellows show up. We can then upgrade the sniper to full metal jacket to break down the leads on round 28 and 30. For round 31, we'll use naval tactics at the start of the round. And then, on round 32, we can upgrade the right submarine to advanced intel. On a shorter map like this, we will need more reliable lead popping power than just the sniper and Brickle, so let's get down a Monkey Buccaneer above Brickle on round 34, upgrading it to Grape Shot as soon as possible during the round. We'll upgrade the Buccaneer to faster shooting during round 35, and Hot Shot before round 36. We'll use naval tactics immediately when round 36 starts. We'll leak quite a bit on this round, but we don't need to worry as long as we don't die. We'll upgrade the Buccaneer to double shot on round 37, again accepting any leaks that happen during the round. For round 38, we will need to use naval tactics when the leads show up, as we want to avoid having this round leak too much. On round 39, we can upgrade the right submarine to airburst darts. Then, for round 40, we'll use naval tactics at the very start of the round to barely take out the Moab. On round 42, we'll get an alchemist down next to the right sub, setting it to strong, and upgrading it to larger potions and acidic mixture dip. On round 43, we'll need to use naval tactics when the ceramics show up. We'll then be able to upgrade our alchemist to Berserker Brew on round 45. On round 46, we can upgrade our right sub to triple guns. Then, on round 47, we'll upgrade our left sub to Advanced Intel. Next, we'll get an Alchemist down next to the left sub on round 48, setting it to Strong and upgrading it to larger potions and Acidic Mixture Dip. We'll upgrade it then to Berserker Brew on round 49, and use naval tactics during the round when the ceramics get in range. On round 50, we can give our left sub airburst darts and triple guns. This will hold until round 53, where we will want to use our naval tactics ability when the Moab shows up on the top right. We now have our Megamind off cooldown, so let's place it in the middle of the water before starting round 54, while also upgrading the right sub to armor-piercing darts. For round 55, we'll use naval tactics off cooldown, which should be just in time for the 4th ceramic rush. On round 56, we'll upgrade the Buccaneer to Destroyer. We want to avoid using naval tactics during rounds 57 and 58 so that we can instead use it during round 59 when the camo leads show up. For the round 60 BFB, we'll put a Megamind on the top left, which will take it out without any problems. On round 61, we'll prep for the upcoming ceramic rushes using the same strategy as last time. We'll sell the free Dart Monkey and put down a tack shooter above our Buccaneer, upgrading it to long range tacks, super range tacks, blade shooter, and blade maelstrom. Round 62 is a little tricky, but placing our Megamind on the left when the fortified Moabs show up should do the trick. Round 63 should be very familiar by now. Use the blade maelstrom on the first ceramic rush, naval tactics on the second ceramic rush, and blade maelstrom again on the third ceramic rush. Round 64 is also tricky. We'll add a third submarine below Brickle, upgrading it to longer range, advanced intel, twin guns, and airburst darts. Then, during the round, we'll place down a Megamind when the fortified Moabs get in range. On round 65, we can upgrade the third submarine to triple guns. We'll then want to use naval tactics during the round when the BFBs show up. On round 66, we'll use the Blade Maelstrom ability when the fortified Moabs show up. On round 67, we can get down an Alchemist for the third sub, upgrading it to larger potions and acidic mixture dip and setting it to strong. We'll upgrade it again to Berserker Brew on round 69. This holds until round 71, where we will want to use naval tactics when the cluster of Moabs gets to the center. On round 73, we can upgrade the left sub to armor-piercing darts. We can then use the Blade Maelstrom ability during the round to be safe. On round 75, we'll upgrade the third sub to armor-piercing darts. During the round, we'll use a Blade Maelstrom ability when the first 3 BFBs get close to the middle, and then naval tactics when the last 3 BFBs get close to the middle. The naval tactics we just used should hopefully carry over through round 76, but we'll also use the Blade Maelstrom ability off cooldown for added safety. We'll put a Megamind on the left before round 77, and use the Blade Maelstrom ability when it blows up the BFBs on the left side. For round 78, we will use naval tactics on both ceramic rushes. Then, for round 79, we'll get down a fourth sub, upgrading it to larger radius, advanced intel, twin guns, airburst darts, and triple guns. We'll then give it its own Alchemist, upgrading it to Berserker Brew as soon as we can during the round. At the end of the round, we'll want to use the naval tactics ability when the fortified BFBs show up. Finally, for round 80, we'll once again make things very easy for ourselves by selling all of our towers, buying a first strike sub, and using the first strike ability to end the round. As you can see, this strategy is very similar to what we did in Spring, but with some well-timed abilities during some of the harder rounds. In this video, we covered some general half-cash principles, and we also saw a few example strategies using Quincy, Sauda, Corvus, Benjamin, Oben, and Brickle. You can replicate the steps in the examples and have a lot of success on many maps. However, there are some maps where the strategies don't work 100%, so you may need to adjust them or come up with your own strategies. As such, we can use these examples to make some guidelines for coming up with your own half-cash strategy. Guideline 1. On single-lane maps, or maps where 2 lanes converge, Corvus and Sauda will often be very effective. Guideline 2. On multi-lane maps, you'll want to have a hero that covers as many lanes as possible, like Oben or Quincy. Guideline 3. For maps containing water, Brickle should generally be a great option. Guideline 4. On maps where you can set up a cheap, effective early game until round 20 without a hero, you might be able to get away with using Benjamin. Guideline 5. Have at least one dedicated tower with enough Pierce to handle round 63, like the Blade Maelstrom, Recursive Cluster, or more Glaives. Guideline 6. Have either one dedicated Moab damage tower or multiple general damage towers, so you can take out the Moab rounds in the 70s. Guideline 7. Use alchemists and villages to buff your towers. Guideline 8. Use your hero and tower abilities, especially to get past some of the difficult rounds in the 60s and 70s. And finally, Guideline 9. Don't be afraid to sell your cheaper towers to buy an expensive one that can carry you through the rest of the game, like the Spectre or First Strike sub. With these guidelines, you should be able to beat almost every half-cash map in the game, including some expert maps. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you get some of your first black borders. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel for more BTD6 content.